Hello children, welcome for today's biology class. So today we are going to continue the chapter Improvement in Food Resources. The topic going to be covered is Crop Production Management. Now let us go inside the chapter. In crop production management, the production of the crop to be improved. So for that we have to do nutrient management and proper irrigation and cropping management, all to be done. So if you don't provide proper nutrient, whatever you do other things, they won't be good yield. Maybe you are giving this too, but you are not watering the plants properly. Once again the crop production will be affected. So all three systems to be given properly. It has to be taken care properly. So first let us study regarding nutrient management. Actually the plants know they get the nutrients from air, water and soil. There are 16 nutrients are there, they are required by the plants for the proper growth. Actually when you see, air supplies oxygen, carbon dioxide, and water also, water it supplies hydrogen, okay, and the remaining 13 nutrients, so they get obtained from the soil. Okay, so here among the 16 nutrients required by the plants, 6 are required in large quantities. So if they are needed in large quantities, you call them as macronutrients. And the macronutrients are nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, calcium, magnesium, sulfur are coming under this category. And the remaining 7, no, they are required in small quantities. They are known as micronutrients. Micro means little amount. Macro means large amount. Needed in large quantities are macro. Needed in small quantities you call that as micronutrients. And the soil can be enriched by providing nutrients in the form of either manures or in the form of fertilizers. So manures are, that is obtaining from natural, that is from waste materials and all, we are getting that. And by means of compost pit and other methods we get that. Fertilizers, that is manufactured in the industries. And the micronutrients are iron, magnesium, boron, zinc, okay, and this copper, all are coming under this category. So the nutrients can be classified into micronutrients or macronutrients. So now let us study regarding manures. So manure, it is prepared by decomposition of plant and animal wastes. It contains organic matter and nutrients. It increases the soil fertility as it is natural. So it won't modify the soil, nature of the soil. It won't pollute the soil much. So that's why it helps to reduce the use of fertilizers. And we are able to recycle the wastes also. So that's why it is cheaper. Manures are cheaper comparing to fertilizers. So that's why the manures, it is preferred more comparing to fertilizers. It protects the environment also. There are two types of manures are there. They are compost manure and green manure. So compost, it is prepared by decomposition of plant and animal waste. There are big compost pits are dug in a particular, that is diameters are there, accordingly it is dug, and in that, so it can be the waste materials can be stored and later it can be converted into compost and it is used as manures. So in the case compost, it can be prepared by using earthworms. If you use earthworms, that you call that as vermicompost. Compost is rich in organic matter and nutrients and it causes less soil pollution also. There is no soil pollution and it is helping to recycle the waste and it protects our environment also. Next is green manure. So in the green manure, what do? We are sowing seeds in the fields and some green plants like sun hemp and all grown, and it is after growing, it is mixed along with the soil by ploughing. We are not harvesting the plant. The plant that is ploughed along with the soil. So when it is ploughing is done, the plants, they turn into green manure and it makes the soil rich in nitrogen and phosphorus. Okay, so these are the two types of manure. One is compost manure, other one is green manure. Next is fertilizers. Actually the fertilizers are chemical substances. They are made commercially in industries. They supply whatever nutrient you need, but it is just like vitamin tablets what you take. So here they supply nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, and they are helping to increase the crop yield. The fertilizers are required, mainly it is used only in required amounts. If we use excess, it may cause soil pollution and water pollution also. So that's why normally before using fertilizers, the farmers used to do soil test. Then accordingly, whatever the need of the soil, the required amount of whatever crops they are going to grow, accordingly that fertilizers are used in the fields. Next, let us study regarding irrigation. So after proper supply of water is also needed. You are providing manures and fertilizers, but if you don't water the plants properly, they will die away. That's why we have to give proper water supply. There is irrigation to be done to the plants. So where do we get this water supply? Either from wells, canals, rivers, tanks, check dams and all. So wells, there are two types of wells are there. They are dug wells and tube wells. Olden time we were used to do dug wells. So now mainly modern method is tube wells and all preferred more. So the mainly whatever it is there, may we get the water from, where do we get water? We get water from the underground water. Whatever there in underground, from there we are taking out and using for the plants. Next is canals. The canals, they receive water from reservoirs or from rivers and it is distributed to fields. So actually nearby there should be some river or some reservoir should be there. Then only through canal we can get the water. And river lift system. So it is lifted mainly from the rivers to irrigate the fields. So it has to be close to the rivers. Then tank, it is small storage reservoirs. So we are storing water whenever we get water supply or during rains, and it is stored, and from the reservoir the water can be used. That is tanks. Then check dams. So it is used to stop rainwater from flowing away, and it is stopped, and by means of dams we can store water, and dams are helpful to increase the groundwater level also, and it reduces soil erosion also. These are the other uses of dams. So like that, either from wells or canals or river lift systems, tanks, check dams, these are different type of irrigation systems. You study children, it can be asked in 2 or 3 mark questions, different type of irrigation systems. Next, let us study regarding mixed, that is cropping patterns. It is mixed cropping, intercropping, crop rotation. This can be asked separately in 2 marks or together it can be asked in 3 marks. So this also, it is very important question, learn this also. So now let us study the cropping pattern in detail. So different ways of growing crops, it is used for maximum benefit. So different ways we adopt, either it can be mixed cropping or intercropping or crop rotation. In mixed cropping, what do we do? 2 or more crops are growing simultaneously in the same field. At a time we are growing, not only we are growing one crop, we are growing 2 or more crops. Either wheat, gram, like that wheat and mustard, groundnut and sunflower, like that you can choose any type of combination. So accordingly it can be grown in the field. It reduces the risk. For example, if you are growing wheat and gram, there is some problem due to that the wheat plant, they are not able to survive. At least from grams we can get the benefit. So like that, so here either, so that's why it reduces the risk. So maybe the one crop fails, you may get the yield from other crops. Next is intercropping. So it is growing 2 or more crops simultaneously in the same field but alternate rows. Here we don't follow any row pattern. So in intercropping we follow the row pattern. It will be easy for harvesting. So here harvesting will be difficult because it is mixed together, difficult. As it is in rows, harvesting will be easier in intercropping. Maize and soybean, millet and cowpea, like that it can be grown, and this helps the better use of nutrients, and it prevents the spreading of diseases from one crop to another crop, and it is helpful to control the diseases also, control the pests also. Here also if one crop fails, you may get no yield from the other crop. Then crop rotation. So this one, growing different crops in the same field during different time, not at the same time, during different periods, in succession it is grown. So one time one crop and during other time, other season other crop. So normally what do we do? The leguminous crops are growing and one time, and the other time we are growing cereal crops. The leguminous crops, what do? They fix the nitrogen, and the cereal crops, they use the nitrogen fixed by the leguminous crops. So like that, alternately one nitrogen fixing crop and other time non-nitrogen fixing crop. So if we grow like that, the fertility of the field can be improved. Okay, so here at a time but not following special row pattern. So same time but following the row pattern, alternate rows. So crop rotation not at the same time, but the field is same but grown in different times. One season one crop, in another season another crop. So like that it has been grown. These are three different cropping patterns. So you study thoroughly, children. It is repeatedly asked question. Okay, so you should know how to differentiate these three also. So this is the mixed cropping. Can you see here? So the crops, no, this is one variety of crop, this is another variety of crop. There is no particular pattern, it is mixed and grown. So here it is intercropping, it is grown in special rows, specific rows, alternate rows. Here no moong, it is grown along with the sugar cane. Like that it is following the special row pattern. Okay children, so today we are concluding up to this. We will meet in the next class. Thank you.